You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight as the survivors of Wednesday's mass shooting in Parkland, Florida descend upon the state capitol, ready to rally for stricter gun control. New reactions are pouring in from Washington and their own state government. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the very latest.
We're the voices of America. We're gonna make a change.
Survivors have become activists.
You're tired of the crying. You're tired of the pain. We want justice.
1 week after a gunman opened fire inside their high school,
It's not close to home, it hit home.
students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas loaded buses taking their fight to Tallahassee.
No one else should have to deal with what we've had to deal with.
And they're vowing Washington is next.
I don't want to have people's guns taken away. I just want to make sure that we can minimize the amount of people that are killed by guns.
The White House is feeling the pressure after a string of recent mass shootings. 17 dead in Florida, 58 dead in Las Vegas, 26 dead in Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Could you explain?
Well, I was trying to before you interrupted me.
Moments after a contentious White House briefing, the president with this announcement, taking action on bump stocks used last year by the Las Vegas shooter.
I signed a memorandum directing the Attorney General to propose regulations to ban all devices that turn legal weapons into machine guns.
Students in Parkland say it was not a bump stock, but an AR-15 rifle that killed 17 at their school, and they want the president to do more.
I really think now is the time for change.
Even in their home state, people remain divided. Students watched as the Florida House voted against bringing a bill to the floor that would have banned assault weapons. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Well, those concerns from Stoneman Douglas students will be heard by state leaders and people all across the country. CNN will be doing a town hall at the BB&T Center in South Florida. You can watch the live coverage on our website at mysuncoast.com. We will also be streaming it online and on Facebook in its entirety. That town hall meeting will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Meanwhile, Governor Rick Scott wants to properly honor the victims from last week's shooting. He has directed the Florida National Guard to honor the 3 fallen members of the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps from Stoneman Douglas High. Florida Guard members will attend their funeral services and will pay respect to those JROTC members and their families. And here on the Suncoast, Bradenton police detectives are investigating after a second note was found threatening a shooting at Manatee High School. Several students have also been charged and accused of making separate threats toward Manatee County schools. Detectives say they learned of the most recent threat today, which states there will be a shooting at Manatee High School tomorrow. There will still be increased police presence at those schools. A Manatee High School freshman has also been arrested and is now facing multiple felony charges after police were notified of a different note threatening violence to students at his school. And 2 11-year-old girls from Team Success Charter School are now facing felony charges after Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say they posted a threat on Snapchat. And deputies with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office also charging a 14-year-old male this evening in connection to a recent threat against Braden River Middle School.
Talk to your children. Look at what they're doing on social media, because that's how it's being done for the most part these days, and to continue to talk to their children about threats of violence.
And in Sarasota County last week, the sheriff's office learned of a questionable Snapchat post about Riverview High School. They say that post was not threatening, but the student in connection to that photo was not in school today. And Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight wants to improve security at local schools by putting retired law enforcement and military veterans on school campuses. The sheriff's office says the security program would provide specialized training. The retired vets and officers would specifically learn about defensive tactics and active shooter scenarios. And the added security would also allow retired first responders to stay actively engaged in the community through the school's resource programs.
In this community, I have more retired police officers call me and say, what can I do to help? And I have police officers calling me right now who are retired from all over the nation saying, I want to help take care of our children in this community. What can I do to help you?
Sheriff Knight says the state needs to change legislation to allow retired officers to use concealed carry weapons on campuses. Congressman Tom Rooney was scheduled to appear at a Republican Party meeting tonight in Nokomis to discuss topics like the Parkland school shooting, but that didn't happen. The congressman backed out of the meeting last minute. This comes just a day after Rooney announced he will not seek re-election in November. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live tonight from the Nokomis Community Center with more on the congressman's canceled visit. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, things have quite a down here, but earlier today, a lot of folks were upset that Rooney was a no-show. This is what Tuesday night's Nova Republican Club meeting in Nokomis looked like. It was supposed to feature Representative Tom Rooney with Florida's 17th Congressional District, but at the last minute, the congressman backed out of attending the meeting.
He was worried that Indivisible might start violent trouble. And he was worried about the people in the Nova Republican Club here, too.
Dozens of people from the Indivisible organization stood outside of the meeting holding signs and protesting. They say they were hoping to get some answers from the congressman to questions on a variety of issues, including the recent tragic school shooting in Florida. The group was very disappointed that he decided not to show up.
We have had a year of a lot of things happening in our government. And we believe that we have a lot of questions that have not gotten answered. We believe that we have a right to ask him questions. He is our representative.
The group is pushing for a town hall meeting this year. They were very loud and vocal last year, demanding a town hall meeting, and they got it. Tuesday night's protests did remain very peaceful. On Monday, Congressman Rooney announced he will not be seeking re-election in 2018.
I would like to ask our representative why he is retiring. Did he grow a conscience?
This Republican club meeting went on as planned, minus Congressman Rooney. Although members were understanding of his decision not to show, they were still hopeful that he would make an appearance.
This would be a great opportunity for him to come and solidify the community, and talk in the community and show appreciation to those people that have supported him for the last 10 years.
And we did reach out to Rooney's office, but our call was not returned. Reporting live from Nokomis this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rick. Well, some record-breaking temperatures here on the Sun Coast. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the newscast at 6 o'clock, and a 90 degrees all-time record high for February here along the Sun Coast at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. The old mark was 88, set back in 1997. The daily or date for this date, we also set a record. We shattered that by 5 degrees. That was set back in 1997 as well. And it looks like our low temperature today will be also a record warm temperature. 74 our current temp, the dew point 68. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 15. The pressure continues to rise at 30.34. That's way up there. 73 now in Orlando. It's 77 in Miami, and in Key West it's 77 degrees. And with the big blue H to the east of the state and drifting very slowly to the southwest, we can anticipate more record highs tomorrow. And it looks as though we'll get up into the upper 80s, near 90 degrees once again. On top of that, we get this east to southeasterly wind flow, which brings in that warm, moist air. There's a chance we could see some fog forming, too. That'll be an issue tomorrow. But the warm weather will continue. It looks like we'll stay warm right through the weekend and beyond. Now, the different story is the nasty weather that high-pressure ridge is really causing in terms of bringing moisture right on into this line that you see from Texas through Arkansas and into Missouri. Flooding concerns, a big deal. All these little icons that you see here are flood problems that they're seeing now into Illinois, near Chicago, stretching up into Michigan. Behind that, you have freezing rain occurring. These are all freezing rain in the purple area you see right there, just to the west and northwest of St. Louis. We'll have more on our weather forecast, let you know if it's ever going to cool down, coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you, Jacqueline.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. The State House has voted down a motion to take up a bill which would ban assault rifles, effectively killing the measure for this legislative session. The motion failed by a 36-71 vote. Republican leaders in the House and Senate say they will consider proposals including raising age restrictions for gun purchases and the red flag bill regarding temporarily taking away someone's guns if they are deemed a threat to others. And in the wake of the Parkland school shooting, law enforcement leaders across the state discussed different ways to prevent this from happening again. Arming school employees, expanding background checks, and revamping the Baker Act law to keep guns from people experiencing mental health issues were among some of the subjects that were discussed. Their workshop was one of 3 similar meetings quickly organized by Governor Rick Scott's office in response to the mass shooting last week at Stoneman Douglas High School that left 17 people dead.
It's much better if there's going to be a gun on campus that it's with a trained person to stop the shooter. The only thing worse than us having to have a shootout on a campus is us not being able to stop the shooter on the campus.
The public, I feel personally, is not going to tolerate anything less than security for their school now. And I'm not talking long-term solutions or legislative solutions that I think we have to work towards, because there are many, but I mean tomorrow.
The officers also spoke of gaping loopholes in the Baker Act, noting that law enforcement cannot take guns away from people who make threats of violence and after being released from mental health facilities are able to purchase firearms. Meanwhile, another workshop put on by Governor Scott's office today focused on mental health screenings. Better integration of data, coordination of care, and early screening and assessment were among some of the recommendations made by a panel of mental health experts. Nicholas Cruz, the gunman who was charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder after the shooting in Parkland, had a lengthy history of mental health issues, and the FBI received at least 2 reports that he posed a threat to others.
What is it about the young males in their development, or external factors, or media, or society that drives them to do these unspeakable, horrific things?
We have to be careful, I think, not to inadvertently contribute to the notion that people with mental illness are dangerous. I mean, that's something we've tried to get away from all these decades and centuries.
Experts also say that identifying and treating every would-be school shooter like Cruz may not put an end to tragedies like the one last week in Parkland, but early assessments can significantly cut down the possibilities. And on the same day that the Florida House declined to even debate a bill banning assault weapons, legislators declared pornography a health risk. The House of Representatives approved that resolution today by a voice vote. The resolution states a need for education, research, and policy changes to protect Floridians, especially teenagers, from pornography. Stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus a heated argument between a city commissioner and the Sarasota city manager tonight, why the two continue to not see eye to eye. And Florida inching closer to replacing the Confederate statue in the U.S. Capitol. What's next in the effort to place the first African-American woman figure in Statuary Hall?
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I do that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore, but there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Well, Bob, I tell you, if you're heading anywhere near a beach these days, you are just seeing backed up traffic, people crossing across the road, and a lot of people here visiting because the beach is just so great and it's hot out.
Oh, it's just more than that. It's unbelievable out there. It was gorgeous today, and I know the 3-day weekend, a lot of people were heading out to the beaches on Manatee Avenue, and you always can tell when there's a lot of people in town because the roadway there on State Road 64 Manatee Avenue, it's jammed full of people heading out there. Yeah, it's nice. That's just the small price that we have to pay for such living in a great and beautiful area. Casey Key webcam showing that beautiful shot that you see right there. And with the water temperature right around 74, 75 degrees, there's a lot more people venturing in the Gulf of Mexico than there normally would be. And typically the water temperature this time of year, right around 64, 65 degrees. So it's running 10 degrees warmer than normal. Casey Key, beautiful shot there. You see the sunset and a lot of photos sent in. Barbara is watching me right now on our Facebook feed. Right now, Venice, getting a nice picture there. The Venice, right near the Venice Pier. And Captain Kurt saying this one. Those are dolphins right there in the mid part of that photo, just enjoying the fine weather and the warm temperatures. Steve Fisher, also a little wave breaking there with some clouds off in the distance. Well, Titan radar picture depicting a lot of rainfall to the north of us. We could use a little bit of rainfall to wash the atmosphere out. Our pollen count, besides our temperatures, are high as well, with trees, oaks and junipers being the highest in terms of the allergens right now that we're facing. So if you are a sufferer of allergies, and those particular pollens do cause some problems as far as sneezing goes. You can see that rainfall continues to stream all the way up on the back end of that large area of high pressure, which continues to just sit there and not do a whole lot. It's drifting very slowly to the southwest, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to drift to the southwest, right over the state for that matter, and we will continue to warm up. So what we have is the trough in the jet stream has really developed out to the west, and then we have the ridging going on in the eastern third of the nation. And with the trough here, they're getting record low temperatures out in the western United States, while record highs across much of the eastern seaboard, as well as into parts of the nation's capital near Boston, New York, all pretty warm tonight. But the big problem will be for the day tomorrow, the flooding. All the area in the light green that you see right there, again, that is a flood warning, flood advisory taking place until tomorrow midday. For us, not a lot going on. There's no watches for us, but there's a small craft advisory down to our south. And you may have noticed on some of your weather apps this what appears to be rainfall out there in the Gulf, but it's not. It is shaft military exercises going on down south near the Keys, causing those returns. 74 right now, east to southeast winds at 15. We talked about the high today, 90 degrees. Tampa also set a record at 89. That was the warmest they've ever been in February as well for Tampa. Now the wind and fog forecast showing for some fog tomorrow morning. Not a lot, but there'll be some around. And then we'll clear out of here and turn sunny throughout most of the day. Temperatures topping out near 87 degrees near the airport, close to setting records once again for the Suncoast. As far as the futurecast goes, we're not looking for a lot of rainfall here. We will see a few brief showers along the east coast, and maybe one or two of those making it all the way over to the west coast late in the day. Southeast winds at 10 knots, a light chop on the bays and inland waters, and seas will be running less than 2 feet tomorrow and throughout Thursday. Well, here's your 7-day forecast. Hot weather continuing all the way through the weekend. A slight chance for a shower or two on Saturday and Sunday, and Monday those will be in the afternoon, but temperatures still running 10 to 15 degrees above average. Jacqueline?
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Sarasota City leaders discussing conversion therapy at its commission meeting this evening. The city is looking at the possibility of putting an ordinance in place to prohibit certain professionals from engaging in this type of therapy with minors. Conversion therapy is typically used in counseling to change an individual's sexual orientation. The City Commission agreed 3-2 to move forward with drafting an ordinance, but also has requested more information on this issue. And also at that meeting tonight, a heated argument as city commissioners discussed Mote Marine Laboratories' plan to relocate to Nathan Benderson Park in 2021. The announcement of those plans to build a new aquarium outside of the Sarasota city limits causing Commissioner Hagan Brody to question City Manager Tom Barwin. Brody criticizing Barwin for not intervening and doing more to keep Mote from leaving its current location on City Island. Brody says he would like to discuss the plan further with Mote Marine about possibly keeping the aquarium in the city, but it remains to be seen if the City Commission will decide on anything further. And up in Tallahassee, state leaders say Florida is close to replacing the Confederate statue in the U.S. Capitol. The State House approving a bill today, and it's headed to Governor Rick Scott's desk, where he is expected to sign it. If approved, the statue will be replaced with one of Mary McLeod Bethune. She founded a school that would become a historically black university. Her statue would be the first African-American woman in Statuary Hall. Well, stay with us. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Here's what's happening tonight. Will you thank the people who wrote the acceptance speech for you in the acceptance speech?
No.
No, you'll not. They will not be credited.
No, they will not.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Here's today's Job of the Day. ABC7 is seeking a multimedia journalist who can tell a story on all platforms and meet tight deadlines. Reporting experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. Now, sports.
The Tampa Bay Bucks just released two-time Pro Bowl running back Doug Martin, and now the team may look for a replacement in free agency. Martin rushed for a career-low 406 yards last season. The release comes less than 2 years after Martin signed a 5-year contract with the Buccaneers. He would have been paid nearly $7 million this year. The 29-year-old was a first-round draft pick out of Boise State in 2012. The Bucks also releasing defensive tackle Chris Baker, who was signed as a free agent last year and only produced 33 tackles and half a sack. And the Lightning beginning a 3-game road trip in Washington tonight. The Bolts taking an early lead in the first. On the power play, Ryan Callahan gets the puck to Braden Point, who flicks the wrist shot in for the game's first goal. Later in the first, Andre Schuster fires a shot on the goal. Then Chris Kunitz gets the deflection off his stick, getting the puck into the back of the net. Skipping ahead to the third, Bolts are up 3-2. Braden Coburn gets the puck out in front of Nikita Kucherov. He takes his time putting the puck in between the legs of Capitals goalie Braden Holtby for the game winner. The final score tonight, 4-2 for the Lightning. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call, let us give you some peace of mind.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining. WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
The world's only panda triplets celebrated the Chinese New Year in southern China with specially prepared food. China state broadcaster CCTV aired footage of the trio saying they were not only fed bamboo leaves, bamboo shoots, and carrots, but handlers also prepared steamed cornbread for them shaped like gold nuggets or dumplings. The triplets are 3.5 years old now, the equivalent of 11 human years, and they are the world's first and only surviving panda triplets. Nice special treat for them for their little Chinese New Year.
Pretty amazing there. It looks pretty cool too. A little bit cooler there, look like, than we have had here.
Yep.
90-degree temperature today. Tomorrow, we're looking for a mid-80s near the coast, but into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees, especially east of I-75. And be sure to tune in to meteorologist John Scalzi to let you know if any cooler weather is on the way. There's a little bit of a hint coming next Thursday, not this Thursday.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Bob, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.